Actually, mine's 128.
That's RTS, right?
Yep.
104.
Alright, first off, we got the obviously, it is a Mobula with a light flak Artemis left side, Hades top, and a light flak gat. Artemis gat on the right side. Next, we got in the trunker. It's a trunker with double Artemis Hades left side and a Carronade Flamer.
Then for Skybow, we have a Squid, Carronade Flamer. Hell yeah, Artemis on the back. And then a Mobula, Hades main, has two Artemises and a flag and a gat. That is quite the long-range Mobula.
One
Only
thing
one up-close weapon.
interesting
Gat.
about this Squid is they have two buff hammers, right? And both they have two Spanner Mallet buff loadouts, which means they only have one Chem Spray on them.
They have three buff hammers. The captain has a buff hammer.
Oh, I missed that. 3 buff hammers. Well.
Which, there's almost never a time when you're a Squid pilot when you can be like, you know what, I don't need to fly this thing. I can do some repairs.
Yeah.
So, oh man, I wish I was watching more closely at the start. Maybe he, just put it in full forward and buffed the balloon or something. Right, but we're starting to see some shots long range going out. Cake with an obvious range advantage, but maybe the Squid can make some moves.
The Squid is using the longest range for their Carronade Flamer. They have Heavy Clip on the Carronade and Lesmok in the Flamer.
I mean, on an open map like that, you really need those few extra meters.
And then again, with the Squid, you kind of want to be up and close. Just burn in and try to get into that as close as you can to make their arcs harder.
I mean, at that point, they just switched to normal Carronade and
That's
normal
true.
Flamer.
It is good enough.
Especially with the new Carronade getting those few extra shots before the reload. You know how impossible it is to get a balloon pop in one go anyway with the new light Carronade. I say new, it's been that way for months now. Just how much I've been playing.
One thing about these Mobulas, you see, on their left sides, the Skyborn has an Artemis top and a light flak on the bottom, and this obviously has a light flak on top and Artemis on the bottom. I kind of prefer the Skyborn with the Artemis for longer range, than you switch to the light flak, once you get in closer.
Definitely. And also, it's just, it's more likely that you need someone to quickly switch from Artemis to flak as opposed to the other way around.
Exactly.
And it's easier to jump it down than to climb up. Alright, we've seen the Squid actually get somewhat in there. You can get a good balloon pop, maybe the Mobula can try to get a finish, but the VSS and the Trunker is here to save the day.
No, the Trunker is too far away to
There's the
support
armor
their
break.
ally.
Are we going to see Flak take advantage? No. Well, we do see Artemis hits. I wonder if that Squid's starting to regret the whole only one extinguishing tool.
Oh, yeah. The Trunker was able to scare him
Not
off.
showing bias, just pains me to see that.
No, I'd say the Trunker should just burn back and start switching to the Skyborn with their Carronade Flamer.
Yeah, you could definitely get in there. Neither of these Mobulas have really good emergency weapons. But honestly, it kind of makes sense for them to focus down the Squid, especially because they were able to get behind that little rock.
Yeah, get some cover. Here, Squid is gonna get away.
Skyborn is back involved, but yeah, no, Mobula's... Our team's doing a good job of making sure to use that little rock to their advantage.
Squid
Of course, trying to do everything to get around it, but we do see an armor break, and down goes that Mobula. However, it'll be interesting to see if they can pull off that trick twice now that the Squid is so near death. Arrow Flamer Joker.
Well, interesting thing about the Mobula, the Skyborn, I see that they have their left side with the Artemis and Life Flak, they're using greased ammo instead of a burst.
Huh. I mean, it helps out the flak a whole hell of a lot. And while it's weird and definitely not as good as Burst, Grease isn't terrible in the Artemis.
Oh, we got a pause going
as
out?
a gunner though, because you just get so used to using Burst. It's just like how you just learn to click that quickly. And then when you use Grease, you just let it fire. It's kind of weird. It's like a really slow carousel all of a sudden. Oh, there was a pause.
I would still say they should definitely be using burst ammo.
Yeah, probably. But Grease isn't horrible if they're closer. It helps with the flak. It helps with the whole emergency situations I was talking about earlier.
Then I'd almost, I'd rather use heatsink for the extra damage.
True. And not having to worry about it. I wonder... Maybe they have him bring Greased and he loaded Greased into the Gat really early.
He's not in the...
Oh no, they have a gunner anyway.
Yeah.
And no buffs.
On the obviously, they're also using grease ammo. Which they have a GAT, which, makes sense.
Everyone has greased ammo on the obvious. Huh.
But they definitely want... Yeah, grease... Don't use grease ammo in the Artemis, guys. Rule of thumb.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
just heat test. More importantly, Burst exists. Burst was made for the Artemis.
I felt like the... when I first started playing, Burst was minus 20% rate of fire. Then they changed it to minus 15%.
Oh.
So I figured that was an Artemis buff, basically.
What did you see when the Artemis was the most ridiculously OP weapon ever?
No, I wasn't around for that.
Oh, those were the days.
Well, you
Basically,
see,
imagine the Artemis pretty much as it is now, except it didn't turn slowly.
really, and it was slower, right, the projectile?
Yeah, the projectile... Well, no. They actually slowed down the projectile. Basically, what they did to nerf the Artemis, they didn't change the damage, but they made sure the projectile was slower and the turn rate was slower. Before, you could just swing that baby around like a gallon or something. And that was why it was such an issue. You could throw an Artemis anywhere and use it.
Squid's engaging the Junker, but they're gonna have to back off
He's just
because...
too hurt.
Yeah.
Can't keep up that engagement. But
And-
he is keeping the Junker distracted enough, and Mobula is getting hits on the obviously. He was able to pop the Junker's balloon? Someone's not paying attention on the Junker. Not to detract from the Carronade Gunner, but that was a long range.
Alright, here we
pop.
go, life flax going out, and kill.
Big hit! Oh! They are hating on that Mobula today. The Junker's just not able to protect it. The Caro Flamer is just not getting a quick enough stable on someone's guard. I mean Skyborn's guard.
And there aren't a whole lot of fires in the Skyborn either.
So that one Chem Spray is doing his job. So MVP goes to Nyarlo top. Their Chem Sprayer.
See, this Junker has all engineers with... they all have main kits, too. With one chem spray and 2 extinguishers. But, as you
I
can
think
see...
if that Flamer was a Carousel, we'd be seeing a very different game.
Possibly. Then again,
they can't do anything to the Squid. They can just annoy it.
Admiral obviously is going down.
Big freaking ran, and another kill on the Mobula. Junker hasn't even lost Permahole yet, and his allies died 3 times.
Yeah, Junker, just, they can stay
not-
alive for quite a while, as long as they're not being
Yeah.
focused on too hard. And you see, all these haters are just hitting the balloon. Which that balloon is just soaking up the damage, but, here we go, balloon's
It's down now. And now the armor soaking up the damage. Tar barrel!
Ooh.
Aw, it missed. Well, Skyborn was able to get around it at least. Alright, we finally see the first bit of permahull on the Junker.
Oh. Oh, you see how quickly
And
they just
there's
went
the
down there.
death. The Junker has finally joined his Mobula in the death party. No, I mean, the plan that it looked like Cake was trying for going into this was to have the Mobula do the killing and have the Junker protect the Mobula. But
Yeah.
we're just not seeing that because Arrow Flamer is just not quick enough on a Junker. You can get away with it if you're a squid flying around all nimbly bimbly.
I also don't think this, the Hades double arm miss is going to be too effective against, blue team.
Well, if they get a quick kill on the Skyborn guard like they just did, and now if they throw all the Hades and all the Artemises on that Mobula, and provided a gunner is good enough, we'll probably see this go to 2-4. As long as we see the hits.
But they're not even arc.
You're an arc now. Here we go.
The gunner's still not. I gotta turn a bit more.
And the Mobula got away. But if they show some aggression and get on the Skyborn, they can. Well, not. Yeah, start the turnaround, start the comeback. But Skyborn is wisely retreating. Skyborn is all back together. The Junker's so far behind the Mobula.
Skyborn being focused on right here.
Yeah, but
Should be
Squid's
okay.
in. The Squid is in.
Little ram.
Obviously, his balloon has been hurt, and it is now on super fire.
Managed to survive
He's
though.
going to drop 2. Mobula is getting the shots in. If that flak shoots, it's game over. Black missed. I think it fired. For a second, I thought
Junker's
there
doing
was
what they
nothing going on.
can.
Yeah, but it looks like Skyborn was... Oh, no, Skyborn did lose their balloon.
You know, they can go down here.
They might. Seen some fire. Trunker was able to get an Artemis helping out.
Squid's coming back in. Thinking, if obviously he gets stuck in this rock mountain,
Obviously,
the
also
ridge.
just lost his balloon. His armor is...
Oh, this
barely
could be the
holding.
end right here.
Oh, a little late on the drogue. Didn't realize he had it. Hanging by a thread.
He needs to get off this ridge or it's game over.
Ah, it's over. Flamer kill. That is a GG. Skyborn advances 5-1, right?